Out of control. My wife and I have been seeing AMC since February. I have had issues with her job taking her out of town every now and then. It is a long story, but my biggest fear is that she would hook up with someone, but I knew that was just me being paranoid. Well, she went out of town for a few days in March. I always get angry with her right before she leaves because I just do not like it, and we have 2 kids. They do not like it either. Anyway, she made it a point to take care of me by giving me some great time. The best we have had in a long time. I felt fine for once with her going on this trip. Well, she comes home after a few days disconnected as hell. I knew something was up. So, I started checking phone and text messages, and sure enough there is a strange number on there. And she had the nerve to put him on our friends and family plan. Just kind of slipped him in there. She has a lot of friends and contacts through work, and many are male, and I really do not have a problem with her having male friends. I know most of these people, but my gut just said something is not right here. By the way, always trust your gut feeling. I confronted her about him. She says he is just a friend and nothing happened. Yeah, right, okay. Well, I figured out on my own who this guy was, name, address, married to. A VP of a hospital no less than about 10 years older than she is. I am 42 and she is 40. She admitted she met him on this trip at the bar in the hotel. It has been the biggest emotional roller coaster I have ever been on. She denied and denied, then I really pushed. And then she said she loved him. She only knew him a couple weeks. She was completely enamored with him. Well, after some crazy stuff on both our parts, we are on the road to recovery. However, I did find an occasional text between them. That made me crazy, so I basically let him know via text that if he did not back off, he would have problems. He could not apologize enough and claimed I was way off base. The same crap she said, so I am thinking it was in the early stages and was an emotional affair. I have been clear and honest with her, and I even told her what I did. She did not give me much grief about it. She says she is committed to making this work. The problem I am having is now she does not want to have bonding and says she just needs time to feel the closeness again. This is a hard pill for me to swallow. Is this normal after all that has gone on? And by the way, she is not talking to this guy as far as I can tell. I gave her complete amnesty. I told her whatever happened we would work through it. She still denied. After 11 years married, I know her well enough to know she is lying. That's how I nailed her in the first place. Comments. You do not go from hey stranger to I am in love without some physical stuff involved in this case. You need to expose him and adopt a zero tolerance policy on continued contact. Find if he is married or has a GF. Heck, finds out what he likes for breakfast. I recommend hiring Good Pie and get the facts on him. Then contact his wife, girlfriend, mother, and expose that this guy has slept with your wife and is continuing to contact her. She slept with him and continues to contact him. She is not working on R. She's working on placating you so she can continue her affair. Drop a VAR into her car and check your phone records, as well as drop a keylogger on your PC to get her passwords. You want them to think they have safe communication, and you want to listen in and to read it. Next, if she claims nothing physical and to be working on the marriage, demand a polygraph test. Google polygraph test and the city, county you live in. You will find a bunch of providers. Expect to pay about $500. I know you do not like anything I said. That doesn't make me wrong. However, if you forgive her, if you shower her with love, you will only push her into his arms. You need to call her on her stuff, hold her accountable, and demand she work to earn the right to be with you. I know it is not what your gut is telling you, but it is what works. You need to make her work for you, to make yourself something she must earn back. And dude, she had slept with him. OP responds, the reason I knew something was up in the first place is by her actions. This woman can say one thing, but her actions are saying something else. I still hawk the phone records and everything else I can do short of planting a VAR. Yes, she has already been on another trip, and yes, I did wonder, but so far, she has acted normal. She is just not good at hiding it. That is good for me. If I see that again, I am not worried about busting her. I am leaving her. Listen, I know it may sound like I am being too relaxed about this, but unless I have an admission of guilt or hard evidence, I'm not going to blow up another family. And yes, he might be just a piece of crap that deserves it. You people are sure of this being physical, but I am not. I must live with myself if I did this without hard evidence. Plus, do you think his wife is completely in the dark if something happened? Not likely. It is early. I am going to wait and see. Like I said, if something happened or is happening, it will come out and I will move on. Like I said, I have only told parts of the story. If something is going on, he must be flying into town and spending time with her a few minutes here and there. He must be paying for everything because I control our finances. I know what she makes and it all goes into one account. Hey, maybe she does not even go to work half the time. Maybe she is flying up to see him for the day and getting back in time to pick kids up from daycare. Oops, there goes my mind wandering again. Listen, I am not trying to poke fun at some of you, but come on. All I can do is be the best me I can. I have made mistakes and take responsibility for it. I did not show her the attention I should have. I am the best thing going for her and she needs to figure that out on her own. I am not fooling myself, and I accept the fact that some bad stuff happened between them. Me running around trying to bug her car and demand that she takes a polygraph. and she sends a goodbye letter to this guy is not making me look like the best option here. That will just push her away. In the end, I want to be able to say I tried, and if it didn't work, that is on her, not me. The MC says she may never admit anything and take it to her grave. I just must decide if I can live with that. I guess if I cannot live with that and she will not tell me, then I am out. Okay, I have been in denial that anything physical happened. It hurts to think about it. 2 weeks after the trip, we had a big blow up. I flat out accused her of the affair, and in the heat of the moment, that is when she said she loved the OM, this fight was over the phone. I was sure I was getting a divorce that day. Then that evening she wanted to meet for a drink. That is when she started acting like her old self. She said she wanted to work on us. One problem I am having is the only time she admitted anything wrong is when she said she loved him. She claims she said that because that's what I wanted to hear. Yeah, that's what I really want to hear. Things for now seem to be going good, except for not having as much bonding I would like. A question to you ladies out there: she claims she is having a problem with feeling the closeness in bed and that it is just going to take time. Is she feeding me a line of bull crap? Or do you think she still has feeling for the OM, or what do you think? She is just trying to sweep all of this under the rug like nothing ever happened, and I'm the only one here with a problem. At this point she is in such denial, if I try to make her write a no-contact letter she will laugh in my face. Yeah, she is high-strung like that. That makes me wonder if I should use the 180 rule or the just let them go rule. The nature of my wife's work requires her to go out of town once every couple of months or so. This affair stuff was my greatest fear about her traveling. We were in counseling before this happened, and I even stated this was my greatest fear before it happened. And the one time I let my guard down, it happens. We were already in counseling. She never seemed distant until she came back from that trip. She never really seemed interested in other men, at least as far as I could tell. Guess I was wrong there. She is a social person, easy to talk to. She lost some weight and is more attractive than she used to be. I think that made me resentful and felt more insecure about myself. I am changing the way I feel about me, and I am doing things for me now. She has opened some, and she admitted to the emotional part. Actually, she said she had only seen him in person the evening they met. She says he made her feel good about herself, and she says nothing physical happened. I know there is a lot of you out there that are going to say she is lying. I feel so far, she's telling me the truth. It makes sense. I think it was headed to a physical relationship with the phone calls, then at some point meeting again. She has not been out of town since. I have been reading some books. Like I have said before, I am working me. I'm not looking too attractive, being all paranoids. The funny thing is she is jealous of a female coworker of mine. She has also been checking my phone records. When she got back from her conference, she was just acting distant, and I caught on that something was wrong. That is when I checked the phone history and had seen all the phone calls. I called her out on this, and she would talk about the fact that things might not work out between us and that sort of thing. We have had our problems over the last couple years, but felt like things quickly went downhill. I had done nothing to bring this on. This went on for 2 weeks or so. Then one day she went out of town for work, just for the day. I called her and questioned everything she was doing and accused her of going to meet this guy. I pressed hard. That's when she said she loved him. It's too short of a time span to feel that way, isn't it? 2 weeks. I checked phone records and I cannot find that number prior to her meeting him there. It does not mean she didn't, but she denied it. She claims the only time she has seen him was that first evening. I think she is lying about that. I think the day we had it out on the phone she met him. She put over 500 miles on her vehicle that day. She claims she just drove around all day thinking about us. There is no way you put 500 miles on just thinking. I think overall we are making progress. Sometimes I wonder. I have just now gotten to the point where she will talk about things. Sorry if it seems I am jumping around. There is just a lot to the story. This Friday, he was going to leave work early, like 11 or noon. She said she had a study group getting together in a town about an hour away, in a town we go to occasionally. She is working on a certification she is trying to obtain. My gut was really twisting and turning. So, I decided to skip work and go to her work to see if she was there at 8:30 a.m. She was not there, of course. So, I waited about an hour, then I called her and told her I was leaving work early and wanted to go to lunch before she left. At this point it is pushing 10 a.m. I asked what time she left and she said 9 a.m. Then I asked for specifics, like where exactly she was going, and she couldn't be specific at all. So, I busted her and told her I had been at her work since 8:30. Then I accused her of going to meet this guy, and kept pushing for answers, and she just denied. The thing that got to me was she did not get annoyed at me for all of this. Then she said she loved him and told me he was so wonderful. Then she said she didn't know how, but she feels out of love with me. She refused to turn around and come back. I was very upset. All she would tell me is she need time to think and would be home later. My theory is she drove to another town about halfway and he drove halfway. The mileage makes sense. The timeline of the phone calls that day made sense. She needs to come clean about this. Part 2. So, I go to her mom's of all places and spill my guts to her. I just wanted her mom to be good with me regardless of what happened. Her mom was great. We talked more than we have ever talked to her before. I ended up texting my wife and telling her I calmed down and would talk later. So later that evening we meet for drinks and she pulls a 180 on and is acting normal and tells me she just drove around all day. I know this is bull crap, and she wanted to work on us. After that, occasionally she would text or call this guy. I let her know I would not put up with this crap. Then I contacted the guy and warned him to back off or he would have problems. So, to the best of my knowledge, there has been no contact. It has been a month and a half and she has not been out of town or anything like that. This seemed to be better. I am a little impatient. I just want her to duck off. Love TV's comment. I think OP is just delaying the inevitable. The wife already made the decision to cheat on you, to rug sweep. What more do you need? I think there is nothing wrong with reconciliation, but your partner needs to be remorseful. And there is no sign of showing any kind of remorse. Move on. Story 2. I am 22 years old and am currently going through a divorce. I was active duty military stationed in Texas when I met my husband. After a very short time, we got married. At first everything was fine, but within a few months I found out I was pregnant, and for some reason that started arguments. We both said that we were excited to have a child, but I do not think that we were ready as a couple for that. I got moved to another base in Texas when I was around 8 months pregnant with our son. As soon as we moved out there, the fights got even worse. We were far away from his family and friends that we couldn't see them a lot, and we knew no one in this new base, and by this time, I was so tired when I got back from work. I just wanted to relax. A month later, I had our son and we promised each other that we would not fight anymore. It was a stupid thing to promise. The fights got even worse, and we fought over everything. We both did not trust the other. He thought I was cheating on him at work. I thought he was cheated on me with his ex-wife. It was horrible. The middle of Feb, I found out I was pregnant again. I told him and he got excited and everything was great for a while. The beginning of March my husband left and went back home and I have not seen him since. I called him over a period of a few weeks and begged him to come back, but he refused. From the end of March to the beginning of August I did not hear anything from him. Not a phone call asking about our son or the pregnancy, nothing. During that time, I realized my role in the downfall of the marriage. I realized that I needed to take responsibility for my actions. I married him. That started all of this. And I prayed every night that something would happen. I gave birth to a little girl the end of Sept. He missed the birth. He has since continued to call me and ask about the kids, but now he is stating that he wants us to be a family. He said he would do anything. There is a lot of details that I have left out. This man does not hold a job, was unfaithful, and one time abusive. So, you might ask why I would even consider. I am scared, that's why. I am scared to be by myself with 2 very young kids. I am afraid that I will not be a good mom. I am afraid that maybe he really has changed and I am missing out. But most of all, I am afraid that I already have my hopes up and he will just hurt me again. I do not know what to do, I really do not. He says he has changed and I have asked for proof, and according to him he is trying to get me proof. But what if I get let down again? And now I have these 2 children to think about. There were plenty of nights I cried, and every night I would pray that God would let us be a family again. Now I guess it's back to being almost as hard as it was when he first left me, only because he is now in contact with me again and he is saying all the things that I want to hear. And I want to believe him. And I would be lying if I told you that he did not already hold my heart again. I look at the kids we created and it makes me want to cry. My son will turn 1 in November, and just yesterday my daughter turned 1 month old. It doesn't seem right, it just doesn't. T-fit. I feel the void of not having my husband around, and yes, it seems so obvious as to why I should just pick up the pieces and forget him. Easier said than done. I want to believe him, I want to believe he has changed. I guess for lack of anything better to say, I am lost in the sauce. And this is all so fresh. It just hurts. I just want to know what to do and how to heal. I am going to give him another chance. However, on the phone I told him that I am expecting it not to work. I told him that he needs to complete everything on that list, and that I am going to move forward with my life, like look at colleges in this area to further my career and not wait for him to make up his mind. I am still afraid of the outcome. No matter what I say to him, I will tell all of you that I pray that it does work. It just does not feel right. A pit in my stomach or an elephant on my chest. Take your pick, I am sure you all have felt it. We agreed that the phone conversations need to slow way down, and the next time we will talk will be on Sunday, and that we will keep it strictly about the children. This will be hard. I let my emotions get involved again. I was pretty harsh and cold on the phone, which I know I need to be right now. And I told him that I have no emotional feelings for him right now. That pissed him off, and he probably knows I am lying, but I need to keep it this way. I just do not know how. So, I woke up this morning feeling a little better. Could have been that my newborn daughter slept better. I will not lie, I let my mind drift to a few months forward, imaging that we would all be a family again when it is all so up in the air now. I wrote a list of things for me to get done today. Hopefully I will be able to cross them off. Haven't heard from him, which yes, I know we agreed we wouldn't talk until Sunday, so I can't say anything really yet. He is so far away. In a sense it prob makes it easier because we cannot see each other. But on the other end of the spectrum it makes it harder too because I have no idea what he is doing. And sometimes your mind is your own worst enemy. I find myself at the strangest times, brushing my teeth, and all of a sudden, an image of what he might be doing or what he has done jumps into my brain. I try to force it out of my brain, but it is exhausting. And I already am tired. I feel like I am being drained in every direction. I did go out last night and I did have fun, but I felt guilty too in regard to my children. It is very hard for me to ask my parents to watch them, and I feel selfish when I do. It's just another thing that stresses me out. Still have not heard anything from my H since Thursday when we talked, and we agreed then that he would call me Sunday afternoon to talk about the kids. I am nervous about that already, but at the same time, I keep thinking about it. About everything that I want to say, but no, I shouldn't. Today I just wanted to call him and yell at him after I went onto his Facebook because he told me he would delete it and he has not, and he still goes on and talks about God knows what. He makes me so angry, so hurt, and yet why do I still want us to be together? This is nuts. I sent him this email a few minutes ago. He would not pick up the phone. This hurts so much. I've been trying to call you, but I figured I should let it go and I will just write you this email. I cannot do this anymore. I woke up this morning excited to hear from you, and then I did not. I know you are now not deleting your Facebook. It's just little things like that, Cody, that I cannot continue to see or go through. We had a pretty bad marriage, and I think it's safe to say that we are not good for each other. I gave you a list of things that I needed to see from you, and yes, I expected this outcome, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt any less. I am moving on from you, Cody, and even as I type this it hurts. I cannot be with a grown man who continues to act the way you do. All you had to do was call at your time and ask about the kids. All you had to do was delete your damn Facebook. Things like that would have shown me you were for real. I knew we were not going to talk on the phone long today. I had everything that I wanted to tell you about the kids in my head. I had taken them to church today. I wanted to tell you about how they were in the nursery. I really wish that this had ended differently, or that things were going well, or that maybe we would someday be together. But the truth is we will not, because you have not changed and you will not change. And to be honest, I do not want a role model like you around my son and my daughter. I wish you the best, Cody, and hope you and your family will be good for years and years to come. And I wish that we could have been a family, but I will not continue to put my heart through this. You failed. And I am praying and praying and praying that one day I will be able to forgive you and to let go of this anger that I have towards you. All I can do is let you go. Goodbye. Months later. I just wish he would sign so I could just let this whole situation go. I am tired of all of this. I feel like I am in limbo. I know without a shadow of a doubt that he has someone else already, so why can't he just sign the papers so I can really move on? My lawyer right now is working on finding out when my child support court date will be, and I have $36 left in my trust account with him. Damn divorces are too expensive. I received a text from my H asking me what my address was. I had to reread it a few times because first I mailed him that letter, so my address is right on that. Oh well, I called him after I received that. He picked up and said, "Hey, what's your address? I cannot read it off the card." I gave it to him and he said thanks. I then asked him if he could please sign the divorce papers. He didn't say anything, then he said, "Yeah, I guess I could." I said thanks and then asked when he is going to start helping me out financially. He said he has been thinking about it and he is sorry he has not been able to, but he owes money for his other child, and if he does not pay that by Friday he goes to jail. I said okay, and that is not my problem anymore. He got pissed and said, "Yeah, well, whatever, dude." I then said he needed to get his ass up here and meet his daughter. He said he is so broke and that if he had the money, don't I think he would come up there to see them. He kept on trying to get a conversation going, but I just kept my sentences short and about the kids. I reminded him again that he needs to help out and he said he will. He then said that he would sign the papers for me. I said okay, thanks, and I have to go, I'm in the middle of something, bye, and hung up. Oh well, it is what it is, I guess. I had a conversation with God last night and I was crying. I don't want a divorce, to believe it or not. Even after everything I still harbor a hope that we could be a family. It killed me to ask him to sign the papers, but I cannot be in limbo either. Months later, I also must confess that I was not completely honest in it either. I am about to make a true confession and I really hope none of you slam me to the floor for this. Even though at times I hate myself, I have been posting quite a lot about how difficult it is for me being a mom. That is putting it lightly. I hate it. I hate it so much. I love my children, but every day I find myself wishing there were someone else's kids because I cannot give them anything. I never wanted to be a mom, just months after months. Before I got married, I swore to myself that I would never have a child. Now I have two and no husband. I feel horrible because I know absolutely none of this is their fault, that in a sense I made my bed, now I need to lay in it. But I did not know it would be like this. I did not know that I would not have a husband. I feel like I am missing out on so much. Every time I leave the house it's a process that sometimes takes up to an hour. My son is now 1.5 years and is throwing tempers every 15 minutes or so. I cannot go out with my friends and I have a great job, but as I have said before, nursing is not my dream job. However, I am back in school to get my RN only because I know that is the best job to support 2 kids on. But I am tired and worn out. I go to bed every night dreading the next day. I have nothing to look forward to. I just want a normal 23-year-old's life. I want to go out at night without feeling guilty. That is the main reason I had been debating about going back to Texas. Only so I could get a break from my kids. I just do not know how to be a mom, and I feel like I have lost my identity in a sense now. People no longer see me as a woman. They see me as a mom. I feel horrible for saying all these things. I really does. I love my children, but most times I feel that they would have been better off with another mother. Will be moving out of my parents' house within the month. Excited but nervous, mostly for financial reasons. I have saved up quite a bit now. Still no word from my no divorce papers signed, no child support. I am gathering that when the parents live in 2 separate states, the system all but pushes you out of the way. No big changes in the social life yet. Have not really met anyone. Still talk to that one guy, but he has gathered that I don't really like him in a romantic type of way. So we only really talk occasionally. Funny story. I did go out with a guy that I really was attracted to by. Okay, I dressed real pretty and it involved 7-inch heels. Well, by the end of the night and as we were on our way to a second place, my feet just out of nowhere started killing me. We were walking up to the door of the second place when out of nowhere I started tripping. Not just like a little trip, but a very long continuous trip that involved him having to catch me. It was not done on purpose. Anyone ever seen Good Luck Chuck? Yay, that's me, the hot girl always tripping. Oh well, hope everything is going well for all of you out there. My comment: there will be a longer story coming tomorrow. Sub and bell, check out the recent stories. And I will see you in tomorrow's story.